I ask for the truth on behalf of Myrtle Latasha concerning relationship issues, love issues. Is there a chance of reconciliation in this circumstance that she's in at the moment? I ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. I just cut the deck for you there, Myrtle, and I'll just move the cards here to the side. Now I'm going to deal out 3 cards for you. For the past, the present and the future. In this particular case, of course, it is the position of the past. We call this the recent past. So this is a period of time between now and this time sort of the last month or so. Roughly a period of time that it takes the moon, when the moon was at its point where it is now, that sort of period of time between now and where it was this time last month. Often referred to as a moonth. The next card we place is in the position of the present. This is, of course, now. You could say about 3 days behind, 3 days ahead, around about through that sort of time period. That's the present influence, isn't it? And then the immediate future influence is a bit like the recent past, but it's the other way around, in the sense it's between now and this time next month, where the moon will be this time next month, when it's at the same position as it is this time next month, and a month into the future. It's just enough to sort of to deal with, isn't it? As around about now as possible, without I suppose you could say nowish, couldn't you really? It's a sort of nowish sort of reading without it being now. Let's see what's been going on over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so between now and then. Maybe this could give an indication to why the relationship split. Of course, remember the meaning of this card is in the position of the recent past. So this will be your relationship situation as was. And this vibrates with that. And because you've asked the question about your relationship, we can connect it to that and maybe find insight. And about guidance, because it's a bit late for the past, but nevertheless we can learn from it. Let's just see what it is though. What we'll do, we'll flip the card nice and slowly, just to reveal its energy. Notice there you got the energy of the gate. The gate is of course a barrier, isn't it? And as it says here, that a barrier kept you from your goal, from whatever it was you were aiming to do in this relationship. There was something in the way, literally, as we could say there. This, of course, no doubt, as we can see here, it does lend itself to whatever it was that was in the way. This could be a thing, or it's usually an aspect of the situation, an aspect of the relationship. Maybe there was somebody else, his ex, your ex. Well, I'm sort of sensing that. I don't know. It's that sort of thing in the relationship where somebody's ex is in the way, maybe both, and he either called out her name or you called out his name or whatever it was, and you were calling out the wrong name, and you got caught out. I don't know what this is about, but certainly there's a lot of darkness in the background there, isn't there? Well, I sort of sense as though there's a sort of foreboding, in the sense of more reflection, really, where I'm sort of thinking that the gate has been closed and But remember, of course, the gate has been closed behind you. That's one thing that I do sort of feel there from that it's been closed behind you. So you're walking away. You were always walking away from any situation in this. In any sort of card reading, usually the character in the card or whatever is usually walking away from the situation. In this case, you. Let's see what's happening now. This will be an interesting one, won't it? Because this is, of course, the position that you're in now, of course, where the split has taken place, and of course the barrier kept you from your goal of maybe trying to salvage what was left of maybe a failing relationship anyway. That's why I'm sort of sensing something there going on. I don't know why, but certainly here, while it's not for the want of trying. Notice there the sun god Ra, the Egyptian sun god Ra, with the element of the sun shining down upon us here. Although there's darkness there in the background, it's sort of, I suppose, really pointing to that contrast of light and darkness, in the sense that the light shines in the darkness. But of course, although Ra brings a new beginning, maybe that's what it is with Genesis coming about. There's a Genesis of some sorts here, a bit like the sun in the tarot deck. That sort of points toward Genesis, and this sort of points towards that with the Ra, doesn't it? The beginning of things. That's like the name Ramses. You know, in the pharaohs, the Ra is used as a bit like how we use a capital letter, I suppose, at the beginning of a word. In the sense, it's Ramses. It's that sort of beginning of the word. Ramses, or whatever you want to call it. And this is the sun god Ra sort of bringing a new beginning right now into the situation. But of course, nevertheless, it focuses on your perseverance, in the sense that your perseverance right now will be rewarded. But in what way? Of course, I sort of sense here that there is a chance of getting back with him, in the sense of meeting up and talking again. But is that getting back with? Is that reconciliation, or is that just communicating with, to maybe evaluate what went wrong in an attempt to rescue it, correction? But I'm sort of nevertheless sensing there, nevertheless, that you want a new beginning. Remember, the door, the gate has been closed behind you on this, and has kept you from your goal of perseverance, but nevertheless you are still persevering. Is this sort of flogging a dead horse, maybe? Or being savaged by a dead cat, or something like that, I don't know. This is the sort of thing that, but nevertheless you want a new beginning. If you want a new beginning, of course, which the sun god Ra offers, then is it a new beginning with him? But of course that means, is he your ex? Are you his ex? Or is this a means of evaluating what went wrong and trying to make it better next time, knowing that there is the chance that it'll happen again, because we are who we are, and we are sort of capable of making the same mistake again if we don't learn from it. And it only has to happen once for the situation that you are on to sort of repeat itself in some way or form, some way, shape or form, then correction. I want to see what the immediate future holds now, as we just pull out the next card here. Let's just we'll flip it over nice and slowly, nice and steadily, out of respect for spirit that brings the guidance, and of course out of respect for your good self there. We'll just throw the card nice and slowly there as we flip it there. Notice the energy of serendipity. There's a turn up for the books. Looks like your luck's in, young lady, for now, of course, between now and this time next month. Between now and where the moon will be this time next month, as you would say. The next 3 or 4 weeks, 27 point something days usually, isn't it, about that. The energy of serendipity, of course, yes, bright new prospects on the horizon for you. Is it for this relationship or is it for another relationship? I don't know. Your perseverance is being rewarded right now, or will be rewarded right now, and maybe, just maybe, there is the chance of a second chance, third chance, or however many chances this has, I don't know, but just call it a second chance, considering this is the first time we're doing this here. But will there be a third chance after that? Luck may be on your side, of course, there. But will it in any way bring any positive result from that? Well, although the light shines in the darkness, nevertheless the darkness is always there in the background, always there reminding you. I sort of get like a celestial feel, maybe a sense of healing, maybe from the Empyrean, the dwelling place of God, as if maybe, just maybe, if there were children involved, then maybe it may have been worth it, but there is a chance you can still get out of this. But nevertheless, maybe that's the serendipity, maybe that's the serendipity of the cathartic vehicle, as you would call it, that awaits you in the sense that you still have the chance of making this split complete and making something new and persevering with something better. Or are you persevering right now with this relationship? Whatever it is you're persevering with, it will be rewarded in some sort, in some way, shape or form. It will be anyway. That logic would tell you that. You don't really need a pack of cards to tell you that, do you? But the fact that your luck is going to be in the sense that just as if by chance something appears and makes it okay again, that's only for the short term. If it's for the long term, we don't know, but for the short term, are you prepared for the short term or the long term? Are you prepared for the long term? That's the question. And if you want this to carry on, so that this thing that is the thing that gate represents there, the barrier that kept you from your goal of maybe the relationship succeeding and developing in some way, it's going to be always there. For as much as you move away from the gate and you look back, the gate will be smaller, but it won't be totally invisible. And even if it does go out of sight and over the horizon, you know it's there, behind you. But it is behind you. That's the only positive thing that you can look forward to, is that the gate that slammed in your face is behind you. Very much your choice. Very much energy that for the short term, well, your luck is in, isn't it? But for the long term there, Myrtle, that is for you to decide what you do. You have the freedom. You always have a choice. For that, we shall now cast a shadow over this situation, and until next time, maybe, for you, Myrtle, these cards have spoken.